Hello. Hi, Jamie. Is it Jamie or Jaynie? Did I miss it? Hello. Hello. The chat on my phone, y'all, like it vanishes. So say something so I can see it again, please. Okay. Do 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 do. It fades in and out on me, y'all. There we go. Mama Beth, how are you feeling? Good to see you. Jamie, yes, Jamie. Hello. How are y'all? How you feeling? How are you feeling today? Are you feeling good? There's Floor. How are you? Looking gorgeous as always. Well, I just pulled it together. I just pulled it together. Hello, Debbie. How are you doing? You're feeling rough? Are you feeling rough? Are you still in hospital, darling? Are you still in hospital? Sweetie darling, are you still in hospital? I didn't bring the other laptop in, so I can't see the chat without it fading in and out. So periodically I'll do this, but it's a pain in the butt. Good, how are you? You look lovely. Well, thank you. I had a few minutes of downtime and I thought I would catch up on a few things that I saw. And I thought, well, maybe I can maybe I can lend my opinions to a couple things, just in case a couple people might want to tune in eventually and hear them. Um, anyway, listen, I do hope this moment finds you all well. Thank you for tuning in. I certainly appreciate it. If anyone tuning in will be so kind as to hit the thumbs, I really appreciate that as well. Every little bit helps with analytics. So there's that. Today I'm drinking straight soda without water because I was too lazy to mix my beverage. I typically drink Diet 7 Up with water. But I decided, what the hell? Just go for the gusto today. But it's all that carbonation. It's all that carbonation, y'all. Who else is in here? We all know what you did to that young boy. What young boy? Who are you talking about? I haven't had the pleasure. I haven't had the pleasure. So, if you're referring to me, please remind me what young boy because I must have missed that one. Vanessa McCready, hello, lover. How are you doing? Good to see you. It's good to see you. I could use me a young boy right now. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't mind a little 20 something walking up and knocking on that door and saying, hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. I'd do anything for a hot meal and a place to sleep tonight. Would you? Would you do anything, young man? When you just say anything, can you define your limitations? Can you define your limitations? So, because I happen to have a hot meal and I might be able to find you a bed to sleep in. But first, I need for you to define your limitations so that there's no misunderstandings here. Could you do that for me? Could you do that for me, young man? Oh, ain't gonna lie. Mama's not lying. Let a young man show up at my doorstep in need. Come on, y'all. What you got cooking out there for me today? I've got a few things I'm going to be talking about. I've got a couple things here. Got a couple things I'm going to be talking about for y'all. As soon as I warm you up. Seems I warm you up a little bit. Gotta warm you up. I can't just start spewing it. Gotta warm you up. That's what I gotta do. Not sure if the chat is still working or not. Is it still working? Again, it's the phone. It's the phone chat. I think AM is the last one that commented, so how are you? How are you, AM? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Oh my goodness. $10 on the super chat. I haven't even warmed up the bed for y'all yet. Thank you. I just pulled out of the driveway. Uh-oh. And I get to listen to you while running errands. Well, good. Good. That's my favorite time for people to listen to me because I feel like I have their full attention is when they're driving down the road, listening to me through their radio system or their earpods, whatever the hell they do. That's my favorite listener. I'm not going to lie. If you're listening to me while driving, I'm a happy camper. I'm a happy camper. Because it literally is, unless you got a bunch of screaming kids in the back seat, there is not much to distract you from me. I kind of hold you at captive. Really? What else is there? Hello, Lucy. Hi, Mallory from England. Hello, Lucy from England. So good to see you. Thank you for stopping through. Let's see. Let's see if we could get a few more signatures on the guest book. A few more signatures on the guest book. I would appreciate it. Looks like we've got a few extra people in here, and we could afford a few more signatures on that guest book before I get started. I think we could do that. There you go. There you go. Don't be greedy with the guest book signatures, right? Go ahead and lay down a signature or two on the guest book while you're here. I certainly appreciate it. See if anybody else has said anything. Your eyebrows are on point, are they? You know I'm forever changing my brows. Sometimes they're surprised. Sometimes they're like Star Trek. Sometimes they're more relaxed. It just depends on what I'm going for, you know. These are my Christian eyebrows. These are my Christian girl eyebrows that I'm featuring for y'all today. These are what I would bring to the community bake sale and razzle dazzle you with my cupcakes and my baked goods. I'd be like, won't you try one of my honey oat muffins today? Won't you try one of my Christian made honey oat bran muffins today? Yes, those are these eyebrows. Other occasions I'll wear my more villainess brows, right? Or as I call, sassy. All right, let me just throw this out there, okay? Let me just throw this little piece of red meat out there for anybody in the moment. The term mooseknukle. Now, apparently some people were talking about Sloppy Molly and her mooseknukle, and I'm not gonna lie. I was truly skipping around on videos, and I was sitting there talking to myself. I don't see nothing weird about her knuckles. What angle did they find? There's something going on with this girl's knuckles, and I don't see it. Sloppy Molly's knuckles look just fine to me, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I was just not in on it, right? Didn't know what the hell a mooseknukle was, but I thought it was just somebody with really big knuckles. And I'm like, I've never noticed that on Sloppy Molly before. I'm gonna have to go look. I'm gonna go look at her knuckles now. I don't know. Does she got boy knuckles? Does she got gorilla knuckles? Does she got kangaroo knuckles? I don't know. I've never paid attention to her knuckles, people. Well, here's the thing. I happened to catch somebody in a side chat in a comment section, and they said something to the effect of, I've never heard that term before. And I'm like, oh, it's a term, is it? I mean, it's a real term? And only then did I Google. I literally, if the feds came and ripped my computer out of my house, they would find where I searched for mooseknukle. And I searched for the mooseknukle, y'all. Hello, Ginger Locks. I searched for the mooseknukle. And it had nothing to do with the size of anybody's knuckles or hands. And I'm just saying, holy shit. I had never in my life heard that term used. And the only thing that shocked me, right? The only thing that shocked me is the fact as a trans woman and all the transphobic shit that was thrown at me, I'm only shocked that it had not as of yet been used toward me. That was my only shock. I was like, oh, well, that's pretty nasty. It's pretty disgusting. I didn't think it was that. So I was so off the mark with the term moose knuckle. Um, I'm so slow to take. But I'm like, I was shocked that it hadn't been used on me before. I'm like, I can't believe nobody, when they, because people love to talk about a trans girl's private area and private zones and all that stuff. And I'm like, I'm just shocked. I'm shook to the ground. Mallory's Mooseknukle. Right? I'm surprised there wasn't a troll account. Mallory's Mooseknukle. Like, what I'm trying to say is, I'm just surprised that it was used on Sloppy Molly before it was used on me. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not be bittering about it. Lord knows. Thank you, haters, for not using that term on me when you easily could have. Thank you. I suppose I owe y'all a thank you. Now, I won't now be surprised if I see Sloppy, what is it? Mooseknukle, Mallory, whatever. Don't. It won't be funny. It won't be funny now, on any level, to anyone, to use it on me. I've done called it out that it hadn't been used on me, and therefore you can't use it on me now. I'm immune to it. So that's it. That's the whole thing in the Mooseknukle. I just thought I would because that was rolling around like nobody's business this week or last week, whatever it was, and I'm like, well, I'll talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. People had no problem in the world talking about my toes, girl. I'll talk about a Mooseknukle. I'll talk about Mooseknukle until I was. I'll talk about somebody's Mooseknukles. Nobody was. I mean, not too many people were enraged talking about girls' toes and feet. So I'm like, all right, let's talk about some Mooseknukles and some big. To my chagrin, it had nothing to do with somebody's hands. Can you imagine that? Had nothing to do with anybody's hands. What's the difference between Mooseknukle and fupa? Okay, the fupa, the fupa is just, first of all, I don't think a woman would have what's called a noose. I don't think a woman would have a Mooseknukle. But a fupa, I think is that little puffy, it's the little puffy poof right over the vagina area, right? Let's just call it the shell of the vagina. Let's call it the shell, the hat, right? Let's call it the big hat on your vagina, right? That everybody sees before it opens wide and says, like if a doctor came through and said, okay, vagina, open wide, let me see what's going on in there, the vagina will go, ah, right? So it's the big upper forehead. It's the forehead of the vagina. Boom. That's the fupa. I think I nailed it. It's the forehead. And some vaginas have a really big ass forehead. Some of them are fat and fluffy. Some of them are like three-dimensional foreheads. Some of them are concaved. Some of those forehead vaginas are just very tiny and petite, like little M&Ms, just like little M&Ms. Barely even a fupa there. It's not even anything, right? But then you got some girls out there who just got really, really, really big foreheads on their vagina. And it might protrude right through their clothing, right? Right through their clothing. You could be, if they're wearing sportswear or something, you're just walking down the road minding your own business, and boom, right in your face is a vagina head just singing at you. And you're like, holy shit, did you see the forehead on that vagina? I did, but don't stare. It's not polite to stare. Don't stare at it. I can't help it. I've never seen one that big. It was just like, boom, right there in my face. I was paying attention, and all of a sudden, there it was, right in my face. I can't believe you didn't notice it first. Listen. That's the case with some of these, as you call fupas. Some of these vagina foreheads, you ain't gonna miss them. You can't hide them, right? You see some of these girls who always wear the big loose dresses and skirts. Guarantee you, when they never wear pants, there's a reason. Because they got giant vaginas with big foreheads on them, and they're trying to camouflage it. They don't want their vaginas scaring people as they're walking through the mall, right? If they're going to apply for a job, they don't want the vagina in there trying to get in on the interview. They don't want all that. They don't want to look down at the vagina and why should I hire her? You know, what do you think? What do you think? She a good bet? Should I take a chance on her? They don't want to get the vagina involved. Just putting it out there. Is Barnyard in here? I just saw. There's my Barnyard girl. See? Barnyard would be the same way. She doesn't want to. She wouldn't. If she was talking to somebody, having a lunch date with someone, she wouldn't want the vagina to show up as a tag along or as the plus one. She would be like, Barnyard would be like, listen, put that. No, I didn't tell you to bring that along to the party. Put that thing away. Put that thing away. Why are you wearing those pants? Why are you wearing, knowing everybody in here, knowing this is not a place for vaginas. We don't want that here. This is a classy place. This is a classy place. Waiter don't want to be distracted with your fupa. Okay, Save Robbie, $5 on the super chat. Thank you. See, Save Robbie. Save Robbie is like a little itty bitty M&M, like I was talking about earlier. If Robbie had a vagina, he would have a tiny, tiny, tiny little forehead on his vagina. Just like a little M&M. Barely see it. Just one of those really petite, tiny, tiny vaginas that all the kind of vaginas that you've got to be prepared for, right? Those are the kind of vaginas. If you're having a hookup, first of all, you don't know what you're going to get. It's best to have a buddy in the back room. Somewhere in the back room in case you need to call in for backup. You might need support. Okay. As I was saying, Save Robbie's vagina, you wouldn't need backup. Is very, very tiny. It would be a very, very tiny, tiny little vagina, right? An amateur, a newbie. See, here's Save Robbie's. This is how we picture Save Robbie's, like somebody of his stature, somebody of his size, right? These are child-sized vaginas. Don't get me wrong, okay? But what I mean by that is they're very small and not intimidating whatsoever. So, like, think about like a driving instructor. So like somebody like Save Robbie could come along with his little tiny petite, easy to handle vagina, right? Easy to handle. Nobody's gonna break a sweat. Nobody's gonna get scared. You know, it's a good training vagina. You see what I'm saying? So somebody like Robbie and his little petite flower, it would be really good to train on. Now, somebody who's got a very large forehead on their, you don't want to start that out for beginners. That they are not for beginners. I'm telling you right now, not for beginners. You need backup. You need a full-on dress rehearsal some of these times. And that's just the way it is. It takes a true professional to handle. It would take somebody like Mr. Vlogger. Mr. Vlogger, I suspect, has worked his way around a variety of vaginas in his lifetime. So I would say, like, Mr. Vlogger, he could probably even have, I don't know, he's probably had a vagina puppet in the past with probably a very big forehead. So I just suspect that Vlogger would know his way around a vagina of all sizes. But not everyone is Mr. Vlogger. Not everyone has the experience. So we're just going to leave it at that. I now know the difference. We got here because of the term Mooseknukle. Who knows how I got here? The fact is, I've arrived. I've arrived, people. And welcome to everyone who's here now with me. And I will say once more, I do hope this moment finds you all well. Okay. Let me take a moment just to read a couple comments here before I get going, because I've got some things to cover. I got a few things to cover. The vaginas, the best thing has been my main motivated by, okay. You've been Motivated by vaginas your whole life. It's your main motivation. I got it. Carla Ray, hello. It shouldn't have been around kids. No, okay. Vagina, well, everybody's got to learn sometime. I don't know. I do know about vaginas. I've been around a lot of vaginas. Okay, so I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong on that. Okay. We've covered Mooseknukle. We've covered fupas. All right, that was your appetizer, people. Now we're going to get into, I'm going to talk, listen, I've recently come across BXbeastboy. Now, I'm sure some of you, a good many of you are familiar with, let's just call him BX, okay? And I've been watching a little bit of BX here and there and some of his features, all right? Uh-oh, hold on. Crazy Nurse Granny, $20 on the super chat. Well, thank you so much. What was it? The forehead? Was it the fupa? Was it Save Robbie's tiny vagina? What was it that encouraged a $20 super chat? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That was really nice of you because you're a queen. Well, thank you. I'll take it. Gingerlocks, how you been, girl? How have you been, my little lover? So here's the thing. I'm gonna lend my opinion on the whole taking of someone's slogan. Now, I'm only touching on this because in general, I think it's a really low rent thing to do. And I really don't care who does it. So let me be quite clear. This isn't a direct attack on the person that did it, Sloppy Molly. This is my outward cringe on people that just do it in general. And you do it. So, I don't know. BX seems to be handling it okay, but he's quite irritated. He's quite irritated. Now, he's not going to have an outward shit fit. He's not going to have a full-on come apart, as my girl Lindy would say, right? Lindy would say a full-on come apart. He's not going to have one of those. But you can tell he's pretty irritated that somebody would take his saying that I believe is, I'm fixing to tell you about yourself. That I'm fixing to tell you about yourself. If I got it slightly wrong, consider it a paraphrase. But I think I'm pretty close. I'm fixing to tell you about yourself, right? Now that's something that he's known to say. It rolls off his tongue like butter and jam, right? It's just one of those things. And there's actually a recording, maybe you've heard it, where Sloppy Molly says, oh my God, paraphrasing here. When I heard that, and she recites the line, I'm fixing to tell you about yourself. It just makes me love you even more. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, it's so funny. And he's like, well, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you're loving what I'm putting down. But cut to Sloppy Molly then taking those words, putting them on a t-shirt, throwing them in her merch store apparently, and then tagging it with Sloppy Molly. Let me give you an example. When I just said about a minute and a half ago, he may have had a full-on come apart, I could have easily left it there. But you know what I did really, really quick? Took me that really no time at all. I gave credit to my friend Lindy, right? Lindy Zoloft. Because that's what she's known in this area. One of her many things, that's one of the things that she's known for saying. Now, I could have easily left that out and let some newcomers think that easily, maybe they thought that line was a Mallory Williams line, a full-on come apart. And maybe they would think, Mallory, you should put that on a shirt. But now they know that it's not one of my lines. Although I repeated it, it's not one of my lines. That belongs to Lindy Zoloft, right? And that's just the way it is. Doesn't mean you can't repeat it or recite it, but you definitely want to let people know that you're just not that goddamn clever, right? You're just not as clever as you think you are, and you shouldn't hijack other people's cleverness and try to take it as your own. in such a bold way. Putting it on a shirt, Molly Golightly. You got to be kidding me. But she's not, and I'm going to tell you why I know she's not. Here's the thing. Some people will be very friendly to you, right? Be very friendly to you. Whether it be a month, 6 months, a year, 3 years. People will be friendly to you. And it can confuse you into thinking that, well, this person is cool. This person is cool. But then they do some shady crap like that, right? I'm friendly to you, but I'm gonna hijack one of your sayings, one of your quotes, and I'm gonna throw it in my merch store. And I'm not gonna give you credit. In fact, I'm gonna take full credit for it. I'm gonna take full credit for it. But why do I do that? Says this person. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's not her first time. It's not her first time. Trust me, I know it's not her first time. But here she is. Here she is. She's got the bigger channel, right? She has the bigger channel with the bigger audience. And I believe this is her reasoning as to why she thinks and does these things. Because she has the bigger channel. And it's really this mindset. More people are going to hear me say it than this person over here. Therefore, it will be mine, right? Perception is reality. It will be my saying. More people will hear me saying it than they will this person over here. If anything, when he says it again, they will think that he got it from me. And this is how this chick's mind works. You know how I know that? You know how I know it, people? Because anybody that knows me, anybody that's been hanging around my channel or coming and going for the last couple, 2-3 years easily, right? You can go to so many of my videos. I mean, hell, I had a sign behind me that once said, listen, 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 right? Now, let me explain something to you. I don't claim the word listen. Anybody can say listen. A lot of Italian girls might say, hey, listen up. But you know what I claim? The delivery, right? Well, lo and behold, just out of nowhere one day, the girl started using my listen as if it was hers. And I thought to myself, the very first time I heard her do it, I thought, oh, she's doing like a little homage to me. And I thought, but maybe she's not, because she didn't say nothing about me. You know, I'll give you another example. Not too long ago, someone said, sign the guest book. That wasn't me. You know who it was? It was Katie. Katie, the girl Katie that you either love or hate. Katie adopted for a hot second, signed the guest book because she liked it. And you know what Katie did? She gave me my credit for it. She didn't, and Katie has a massive channel, right? She didn't sit there and try to play the game. Well, more people are going to hear me say it, therefore they'll believe that it's really my saying. I'm the one who said sign the guest book. No, she gave me my credit, right? Because that's kind of the nice thing to do. It's these little things, these little courtesies that you do to other content providers, right? When you sample a piece of their personality. It's like sampling a piece of music from an artist, right? You like something people are putting down and you want to try to incorporate it into your videos or whatever. Give the proper credit. But here's Molly running around trying her damnedest to replicate my delivery. You'll hear it from time to time. Listen, listen, listen. It doesn't work. And you know why it doesn't work? Because it's a duplication. See? It's so different when you're the originator. When you have the original sound, the original delivery, because let's face it, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. But this girl truly believed, just like she did BX, I've got the bigger channel. More people are going to hear me saying, listen, listen. than they ever would have. Mallory Williams. Mallory Williams who? Mallory Williams who? And just you just let it go, because fortunately for me, I'm pretty damn clever, and I've got quite a few quotes and little sayings that just come flying out of me. I don't have to rely on just one listen, right? One listen. I don't have to rely on that. But make no mistake, it is mine. In these here parts, it's mine, right? Hell, Stellar, I believe it was Stellar, ordered me a neon sign that hung behind me for a while that said, listen. Okay? I didn't see Sloppy Molly with a neon sign that said, listen. So it's this kind of behavior that is just, it's low rent, but what do you expect? What do you expect based on the recent behaviors that this person has exhibited all over the place, right? From where she at? New Jersey, all the way on down to Florida and back, right? What do you expect? Low rent people do low rent things, right? Low rent people do low rent things, right? What makes her a life coach? I'll tell you what makes her a life coach. Because she has designer handbags. Because she can showcase a couple designer handbags and really sassy sunglasses, right? Has a beautiful backdrop in a relatively nice modern home, right? That's her qualifications of being a life coach, people. You know why? Because people don't seek life advice from people who can't afford to buy those things. Because people gauge other people's success and their worthiness based on their physical items. So when all of you people out there are talking about what makes her a life coach, that's what makes her a life coach, right? Because I guarantee you, if Sloppy Molly and I change lives for a week, God forbid, she'd never survive it. She'd never survive it. But if we switch lives for a week, I could be just as easily as a life coach. In fact, believe it or not, with all of my wisdom, my pearls of wisdom, my knowing of human nature, right? Everything that makes me me, I could life coach the hell around her in circles, right? If I only had a designer handbag to validate my success. So that's what makes her life coach, right? If she were sitting somewhere in poverty, without the aid of her roommate, her husband, right? Who would seek life coach advice from her? Suddenly, everything she had to say wouldn't really seem, it just wouldn't seem that awe-inspiring, would it? I mean, think about it. Think about it. If she was broke and her husband was not able to aid and help put her in a position where she could have loose money to finance these bags and these glasses and make the lease payment on that car to keep up appearances and etc., etc., etc. Suddenly what comes out of her mouth just really wouldn't be life coach worthy. I mean, would you really be calling her up? Look, Molly girl, I know you live in a trailer and I'm fine with that, but you're like Yoda. You're just so damn wise, right? Because I'll tell you right now, there ain't nobody calling me up for life advice. Right? There is no one in my emails seeking life advice. Right? When I know full well, I can life coach a damn cat into having a more successful life than this Sloppy Molly can coach somebody into a productive life and self-worthiness person, right? I know that as sure as I'm sitting here. Right? I just need a coach bag to do it, right? Or Prada, right? Just give me something. That's what makes her a life coach. So there's that. Anyway, you know how I feel about that. Bottom line is, people with larger channels will try to silence, they will try to minimize small channels or try to bully them into submission. And quite often, if they think you have got some sort of talent, if they think you've got anything at all, right? They're gonna try to scoot up next to you. They'll keep a tab on you, right? Just like she is with BX, right? BX, I don't think is stupid. I don't think BX is stupid. But those are the ones you gotta watch out for. The ones that just scoot up right next to you, right? They scoot right up to you, smile, smile, and then before you know it, you see, listen, on a pillow somewhere that's not yours. You see it on a pillow, and you're like, where's my revenue? Where's my revenue? Watching Hocus Pocus. What a good show. Love it. Mary, go back to Pansy and Holly. I don't know what that's about. So anyway, BX, Mr. BX, I'm sorry that happened to you. It wasn't cool. But, you know, that's what, you know. I think you should know people. You can't be surprised. You can't be surprised. Don't let yourself be surprised. Okay, Nikki. Hello, Nikki. Debbie says Molly's a hot mess and it sells. Hey, I suppose it does. Let it sell. Just know that she's using everybody else's sass and turning into messy. The originality of a sheet of drywall. That's what she has. The originality of a sheet of drywall. Okay. I'm gonna move on, people. Listen! Listen, pay attention. I'm gonna move on. I want to talk about, briefly, Bombshell and Jaynie Bo Baynie. It had been so long since I listened, I'm going to say to the crazies in general, okay? It had been so long since I literally listened to the crazies. And I don't know how it happened, but the other night, 2 or 3 nights ago, the Moon and Stars had me listening. Not just because sometimes I will click into Bombshell, give a couple minutes of, but I can't take much because she's the rants, and it's the rants on the people that I just can't deal with. It's never-ending rants on the stupidity, and it's just a circle and a circle. But I like to tune in just to hear her voice on occasion because I like her voice. And she's very nice, and she's always been nice to me. So either way, I like to tune in on occasion. But this night, I started listening. And I'm like, I literally was laying in bed, and I was listening and listening. And I think what it was is Jaynie Bo Baynie was there, and she caught me. She hooked me in. Because she was talking to, oh God, what is her name? The Dr. Phil girl with the pants. Y'all, Wendy. She was there talking to Wendy, right? And I thought, huh. And I thought to myself, and I had to look. I had to make sure I wasn't on Wendy's panel, right? I mean, looking at, because I'm not sitting watching Wendy's channel. But I had to I went back, and sure enough, it was Bombshell's channel. It come up to my subscriptions and everything, and there Wendy was, right up on, girl, there she was, plain as day, sitting up there on Bombshell's panel. I'm like, I might have to listen to this for a minute. So here's the thing, I cannot relive the whole panel for y'all. You've either heard it or you didn't want to hear it. We'll put it that way. If you haven't heard it, you just are not interested in hearing it. So I'm certainly not going to sit here and recite for you everything that happened. But I will say this. There's a couple things that stand out to me. One of this is the constant shutting people down by dismissing them as crazy, right? When you have nothing else to come back with, right? It's just, you're minimizing them is just crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. Liar, 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 lies, lies, lies. Every other word that's come out of your mouth, you're just telling somebody they're a liar. Here's the thing. That's weak to me. You know, if you want to say somebody's a liar, declare it once, declare it twice. You've declared your position. You think someone's a liar. But after that, you either have to engage with them or get the hell off the panel, right? You can't just continue to sit there and bark liar and crazy repetitively every time this person opens her mouth in hopes of just drowning her out. That's not going to work. Who's into that? Not the listeners. And let's face it, that's who this train is hustling for, is the listeners. Nobody wants to hear that every 2 seconds. Nobody wants to hear that. I don't care how popular you think you are or how sexy you think you are with the word liar coming off your tongue. It doesn't sound nearly as sexy and cute as you might think it does. It just sounds redundant and simple. So, I'm trying to figure out how to word this next part. Because she will sit there and she'll call out. She'll call out everybody's behavior. And she'll make up her own narratives to this behavior, and she'll stand by it, and she'll sell it, and she'll package it, and it is what it is. It is what it is. And then when you go back at her, if she's not yelling liar, I think this is a newer thing maybe. But this really is something I feel needs to be addressed for everybody out there, right? For everybody. This is one of those general education moments. When you sit there and try to say and diffuse an argument or diffuse mouth-to-mouth combat, right? So that you can escape an ass whooping, right? So you can escape a verbal ass whooping. And you try to diffuse it by saying, listen, you don't know me. You don't know me. The only person on that panel that knows me is me. The only person that knows what I'm thinking is me. So you don't know what I'm thinking, and therefore you know nothing. You're crazy. You're a liar. Do you know how stupid that sounds? I mean, on its baseline, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? You're pulled over or something. You're looking awfully suspicious. I don't know. You were speeding. I don't even know what it was. You just look at the officer and say, listen, you don't know me. You don't know what I was doing, right? You don't know, in my mind, I was doing 55, not 65. You don't know me whatsoever, officer. You know nothing. You're crazy. Get back in your car and drive away. You know nothing. Only I know this person driving this vehicle right now, not you. But you see how ridiculous it sounds? It's true. People, it's true. This is what the girl was spitting out. You don't know me. But she knows everybody else. Every goddamn person that she needs to talk about. She knows their ins and outs, their kinks, everything. If they're soliciting underage people, she knows about them. She's going to call them out for it. If they don't have any running water, she knows why they don't have any running water, because they're a lazy bum and they need to get a job and they spend all their money on young half shirts to chase the teen boys. Listen. Imagine all these people just start walking around talking about every time they're challenged, every time they're called to the carpet. You don't know me. In fact, I feel like I need to start trying. Maybe that's going to be my new thing. Every time somebody tries to call Miss Williams to the carpet, I'm going to be like, whoa, listen. You don't know me. You don't know me. There's only one person here that knows me, and that's me. Only I know what I'm thinking and what's in my head. So what you're saying is absolutely false. You don't know me. You can't prove what I was thinking. Therefore, you need to get back on your pony and trot on down the road. Oh, okay, you're right. Jeez, I never thought of it like that, right? I never thought of it like that. Jesus, you're a genius. You're a genius, Miss Wendy. You're just a genius. And nobody's calling this bullshit out. I'm listening to it, people. I'm listening it. It was about this time somebody in the side chat, careful, Mallory's taking notes. And I was quite clear to say, oh no. Mallory doesn't take notes on these fuckery, these masters of fuckery anymore. Like, that stuff's enough to put me in the loony bin. No, I don't sit there and put words to paper no more. All right, it was cute while it lasted. That's not my show anymore. I don't do that. Because it's never ending. It would be a never ending. And I see these people all stuck in a loop, just stuck in a loop. But nobody's calling this out. No one on panel is calling it out. Even the people that she's saying it to. And Jaynie was not without the use of words she had in common. But even Jaynie didn't say, wait a minute, how does that work? How does that work? How does that excuse you from anything? Because you declared nobody knows you. And girl, this is what I say. I'm like, listen, girl. I really want to say bitch, but I don't know her. I don't know her, she would say. I can't call her a bitch. Only she would know if she's being a bitch or not. Only Wendy would know if she's being a bitch or not. I don't know Wendy like that. So therefore, I can't say that she's a bitch. On that logic, only Wendy would know if she's being a bitch. And if she says she's not being a bitch, then she's not being a bitch. Do you understand how this works, people? I mean, am I wrong? Am I missing something? Did you hear it? This is the logic. But I say to that, listen, to all of you who think that you're going to be using that line on people, right? Every time you're challenged and know your ass is about to land in the mulch feeder, right? Because you don't have nothing to say. You don't have a proper response. So you're just going to go in there and you're going to pull out the, hey, listen, you don't know me card. Here's my opinion, right? This is how I have to approach it. And I will say, bitch, I don't need to know you. I don't need to get up inside your head. I don't need you to introduce me to the Wendy or anybody else that lives way up inside that head of yours. Quite frankly, I have no interest in meeting her, right? I'm not interested, right? I don't got to know her. See, because what I'm going to do does not require me to know you on any kind of level. It doesn't. Because what I'm going to do is I'm simply here to judge your ass. I'm here to judge you based on your behavior and your actions and the weird ass shit that comes out of your mouth. That's my only job here. I am here to stand in judgment of the assholism that is you. Nothing more. So I don't care who you are upset. I don't care if there's 3 of you. I don't care if you've named them all. I don't care. I'm not interested in meeting any one of you that live upstairs in that head. Okay? If there's a skinny version of you somewhere in there, tell her I said hi. But I'm not interested in meeting her. I don't care. All right? Let her get her skinny on all day. Don't care. I'm just here to stand in judgment. And that's the truth. And trust me, when I was listening to this bullshit, I was standing in judgment because I couldn't judge enough. I could not judge enough of the bullshit that was coming out of that panel, right? And this was before Randy even got on. Can you imagine that? Randy. Rain Man herself decided to come up on the panel, girl. I'm not kidding. It happened. The same woman that later in the panel will say that she doesn't watch Bombshell. She don't watch Bombshell. She doesn't really know Bombshell. She don't know what's been said to her about Bombshell. She doesn't know shit about Bombshell, right? And lo and behold, I was able to make a comment in the side chat because it was speeding away. I just put in a comment, just a benign comment that I just knew was never going to be seen or heard. And it just said, for somebody who doesn't know this girl, right? Can anybody explain to me how the hell she wound up on the panel? I mean, can we just answer that question, or is it going to give somebody a meltdown, right? I mean, because that's a parlor trick. You don't know shit about this girl, shit about what's been done, shit about what's been said, nothing, right? You're Switzerland. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. But somehow you're up there on the panel with something to say and an opinion, a thought to lend. I was very much wanting to answer to that because I was confused. I'm like, how the hell does that work? What do you have to offer here? You know, by your own admission, you don't know this lady. I'll be damned. Randy saw my comment. She saw my comment. With all those comments zipping by, she saw my comment. And she just said, Mallory, I'm here because someone texted me. And Wendy quickly said, right, well, it wasn't me. I didn't text you, girl. So it wasn't even as though somebody on panel texted her and summons her to say, hey, come join this panel. She claims that she was there because someone, could have been anyone, right? It could have been anyone. For all I know, it could have been her girl Savage, right? And I say that only because she wound up bringing Savage up on panel via telephone. I don't know. I can't say that it was Savage, but it's a possibility. When somebody texted her and say, hey, we need you over there, this girl that you don't know, we need you up there on this girl that you have no idea what's been said about her or what she said about you. It's very important. It's imperative, in fact, that you get up there in that panel and you just state your case and you just tell it what is. Doesn't matter that you don't know anybody or you don't know nothing. Just get up there, grab a link and go. And apparently that's what she did. All right, that's what she did. But boy, she sure was talking like she knew a lot. She sure was talking a bomb and like she knew some things now, didn't she? Here's another thing, people. This is where I'm gonna be honest with you. This is where I would whisper in Bomb's ear loudly, right? If I had access to her that night. Because I think she sold herself short and her panel short for about 10 minutes. And that's just the truth. I feel like she gave control of her panel away for a solid 10 minutes. I think she had a really good opportunity to make a statement and to flex her muscle, and she abandoned her own ship. And that's when she made it quite clear she wasn't interested in Savage, right? But Randy made it her business to get up on that panel. Savage was not getting a link. So what Randy did was connect her line to Savage's line via phone, speakerphone, and that she backdoored Savage in that way, right? I'm not kidding you. This has happened. Suddenly, Savage was on a panel that she wasn't welcome on, right? There she was. Not even gonna lie. That's what happened. And where Bomb made her mistake is not booting Randy instantly. Boot. You get the boot. I don't even have time to mute your ass. First of all, I don't know you. You're not a friend of mine. You're up here as a mere courtesy. I'm letting you up here as a really fine-lined courtesy, Miss Randy. Because we don't really know each other like that. I know that you happen to be a sidekick of Miss Wendy. So Wendy's up here. I'm going to allow you to be her +1 because she needs a little moral support. So mind your Q's, right? Mind your P's while you're up here. Because you're only in the door tonight as a +1. Right? Got it, Rain Man? That's a +1. Because Wendy's here. And I'm trying to show Wendy a courtesy for showing up. All right? But the minute she backdoored and brought on Savage, she should have been booted. Right on out the door. That's it. Because if I'm Bombshell, if I want Savage to be heard on my panel, I'm going to give the girl a link. I'm going to give her a link. I will give her a link. Not some rando that hops up on my panel that I don't even know that's piggybacking to somebody's +1 and they're going to take it upon themselves and then keep it going and going, even though Bombshell keeps declaring, I don't want her voice here. I don't want her here. And people in the side chat are saying, mute her, disconnect the phone, Randy, disconnect the phone. She wouldn't do it. Well, hell, why would she? Why would she? If Bomb wasn't booting her, if Bomb wasn't muting her, why would she? I mean, after all, that's pretty much what she was there to do. She was there to provide a link so that Savage could possibly be heard. That's just the way it is. That's what went down. And I'm sorry, Bomb, but you did not drop the bomb on their head that night. Because if ever there was a time to, I dropped the bomb on you, baby, you should have dropped that bomb right over Randy's head with a quickness and took her and her little friend Savage right on out the door, right? Right on out the kitchen door and sat them right next to the little dumpster. Just sat them out there and wait till Tuesday or Thursday till a truck come and pick them up, right? But you didn't do that. See, but I run things, we're just different people. We think differently, we operate different. In hindsight, maybe she would have did the same thing. In hindsight, maybe she would have did something differently. Doesn't really matter because it is what it is. Now, everyone, I will read all of your chat. I always do. And in a few minutes, I'm going to read some. So if you want to tell me something, hold off a couple minutes and wait till I'm reading. Otherwise, talk amongst yourselves while I'm just running off with the sass. Okay. I get completely what Jaynie was doing that night, right? I also get that they were attempting to play her out. They are attempting to ice her out. For instance, you might hear this. You'll hear people sometimes say, it's probably even been said about me, right? But you'll hear some people say, nobody wants you here. That's why nobody wants you around. You can't go anywhere and get on anybody's panel because nobody wants you here, right? Go away. You're a weirdo. You're crazy. What does that sound like to you, right? First of all, doesn't it sound like somebody who accidentally sat at the Mean Girls table in the cafeteria? Doesn't it kind of sound like the same thing? Somebody just said, you know what? It's crowded and they got like 5 seats that no one's sitting in. I'm going to go sit over there. Even though I don't know these girls, they don't talk to me for nothing. There's some free seats. I'm going to go over and sit. Doesn't it sound like something a table of mean girls would do? Nobody wants you here. Why are you here? You're a weirdo. You're a weirdo. You're crazy. Just go, right? That's exactly what a table filled with mean girls would do. Listen, I've lived my life, people. I'm no life coach. Well, I don't wear Prada. I don't have any Dolce & Gabbana on me so I'm no life coach. Let's just be clear. But I have lived, right? And I have seen many things. I have seen failure. I have seen success. I've even been a part of both in some small ways, okay? But I know a table of mean girls when I see it. I know a table of mean girls. I know what vipers look like, right? I've been to the zoo. I know what a viper is. So they were trying to ice Miss Jaynie out. Why? Because they found Bombshell in a position of vulnerability. Bombshell, remember a little while ago when I said, listen, I don't take notes anymore, they'll drive you to the loony bin? Well, Bombshell is pretty close to being driven to the loony bin because Bombshell just didn't know when to say, it's not, enough is enough. You've gotten the last response out of me, right? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So, Bombshell continued to go on down this road with these bunch of crazies until she was beaten, right? Left for dead on the side of the road, just emotionally destroyed, feeling weak, just could not go on one more day with confrontation, and really in that zone of just easily, so easily forgiving and forgetting all that's been done with her in the name of can we just get along, as if that's ever going to happen. No, Bombshell, that's never going to happen. Because Bombshell, people do not tune in to see people get along. So that's never going to happen with the players that you want it to happen with. You have to be all in or all out. That's really what you got to do. And in your condition, Bomb, you should just step back and be completely all out. These vipers are never gonna make peace with you on any real, genuine level. Make no mistake. It'll be like a ticking clock. Tick, 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 tick. Waiting for anything and anything to come along so that they can start it right back up again and then gaslight you, right? But see, Jaynie sees all this. Jaynie's kind of like me in that way. This is why Jaynie is not invited to all the parties. This is why I'm not invited to all the parties. Because people really get tired of people like me, people like Jaynie, who just see through all the child's play so easily. We can see 3 steps in front of us. We can see, I mean, if it's a game of chess, we already almost got somebody in checkmate before they've made 3 moves. Like, we just know. We know where the amateurs are going. We know what's going to come out of their mouth. We know what's going to be recycled. We know who they're going to try to get in cahoots with. We know it all. As I like to say, listen, why do I need to, I don't need to read this book. Because you know what? I know the ending without ever having to have read it. And time again, that's how I've gotten through life. I'm no life coach. Again, right? I don't have a Tom Kors purse, right? Michael Kors, see? I don't have an MK purse. See? I can't even get my designers correct. I can't be a life coach. I can't be a life coach. I'll say go get you instead of saying Tom Ford, I'll say yeah, instead of saying Tom Ford, I'll say Tom Kors or something. Listen, I'm getting them all mixed up. It's all jibble jabble in there. I can't life coach anybody. How the hell are you going to life coach somebody you can't even get your designers right? And you know, I come from Nordstrom. I have a background in Nordstrom, and I still can't even forget it. Can't be a life coach, right? I'm going to have to meet, before I can get my life coach card, I've got to meet a very wealthy roommate, husband, let's get it correct. It's a husband, very happily married together, sex life is hot, intimacy is in check, it's in full tilt. I have no doubt whatsoever, everything in that house is on full tilt romantically. I just wanted to clarify that in case I might have given the wrong impression. So there's that. Listen, but I know what Jaynie was doing. Jaynie was that person that was not going to let the Vipers win. She was going to be the person to keep pulling the rug out from under their feet with every... It was going so good until Jaynie got here. What she meant was everything was going according to plan until Jaynie got here. That's what I heard, right? Everything was going to plan until Jaynie got here. I'm not lying. You will hear that over and over and over again. And the truth is, everything wasn't going well. What was going well? Nothing was going well. What was going well? With that, people should have a friend like Jaynie. Might be a pain in the ass, right? Because no doubt, having a friend like Jaynie is not always going to be a picnic. Because listen, you might meet the cute boy at the club. You might meet that cute boy at the club. But your friend Jaynie already knows what he's about, right? Because your friend Jaynie's just a little bit more tuned in to what's going on. The game that's coming out of his mouth, because your friend Jaynie has just had somebody play the same game on her last weekend at the club. So your friend Jaynie knows what time it is, right? So he knows that you're about to get played, right? She knows that he's got a few people back at the house that could put you in a very vulnerable situation that you probably don't want to be in. And you're really going to have to take a major walk of shame the next day. And Jaynie just already knows this. Without ever having to have lived it, Jaynie just knows this. Jaynie has life experience. Not saying that Bombshell doesn't. Of course she does. But in this example, this is what happens when someone is a friend of Jaynie's. It comes with the lack of good times sometimes, because Jaynie will always be there to raid on that goddamn parade. Just when you think you're about to have a party with a sexy boy, you'll hear a clap of thunder, and you'll turn to your right, and it'll be Jaynie pissing all over your parade, right? And you're going to hate Jaynie in that moment. You're going to hate her. You're not going to be able to stand the fact, why did you come to the club with Jaynie in tow? Why? Right? And then the next day, maybe the day after, you might hear something about that boy you almost went home with, right? And then you're going to think to yourself, Jesus, if it wasn't for Jaynie, if she wasn't there to do the thinking, if she wasn't there with her foresight, with her life experience, intuition, and all-knowing, could only imagine what would have happened. So that's what it's like being Jaynie. A liar she is not. Jaynie doesn't go around lying. Although somebody will say, because there was an incident where apparently Jaynie believed that Randy, you see I have names written down here. Not gonna lie. They're not notes, people. They're not the kind of notes that you think they are. These are my talking points and just little notes for me, so that when I need to recall something, I have it. That's the bitch I am, okay? I like to know who I'm talking about. So Randy, I don't know what I was gonna say. Hold on. I don't know. It was something about Randy. Does anybody know what I was gonna say? I don't know. It just happens. I'm old. If somebody could just give me the last words I said, if anybody. Listen, Wendy did this too. Wendy did it too. She had a brain fart. I'm just going to say. I remember that live on that panel. She lost her train of thought too. It happens. You just get so into where you were going with things. I feel like I need this before I can move on, because it was in my closing. Well, let me just backtrack then, if nobody can help me out. Hold on. Just looking. They don't care about Bomb. They think they're better. Okay. About thinking and thinking and denied. Anyway, listen. Let me just get back onto, because I don't want to eat up too much time here. Oh yes, Randy lied. Thinking Randy lied, but what did she lie about? Randy, what did she lie about? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Sorry, we're just gonna have to move past it. I'm sure it was a nice little morsel too, but you know, I am 51, y'all, and all this genius that comes out of here. Like I said, I've got to give myself something to go on, and this is why. You caught me. You caught me. But here's the thing. As far as Jaynie Bo Baynie goes, she is the friend, right? That's not going to let people sit there and trample all over you. She's not going to sit there and let people catch you when you're vulnerable and try to reel you in like they were doing. They were trying to reel her in, her meaning Bombshell, reel her in, but at the same time, now they were trying to get Bombshell to ice baby, ice out Jaynie Bo Baynie by constantly calling her a liar. But look, she said this, and all she's saying is this, and all she's saying is that. And she's just a lying, pants on fire. In Bombshell's credit, Bombshell gets credit because Bombshell would only tolerate that for an extent. Bombshell would quickly remind the both of them about themselves. And that half the time they had it coming. Half the time they had it coming. And they were doing their own good share of non-truth telling themselves. As much as Wendy wanted to sit there and say, but you don't know me, girl. You don't know me. Only I know me. Only I know if I'm lying or telling the truth. Ooh. Therefore, you have no power here. Oh my God. Randy always lies for friends. Well, Vanessa, now I do know that going back that Randy had said that she will, as a friend, she will definitely lie for a friend. Now, this is just something that you should never say in public because what it does, listen, I can appreciate a friend lying for a friend. All right. If you're going to lie for a friend, to cover for a friend, you know what? That's what you're going to do. But I can't appreciate somebody saying it out loud in public because that should be a dirty shame, right? It's a guilty pleasure. I like to lie for my friends. I like to lie for my friends. Okay, it's your guilty pleasure, it's your kink, but you don't come out and say it on national YouTube and let everybody know that when it comes to your friends that you're going to lie for them because therefore you have just incriminated yourself like nobody's business. No one, people cannot take stock in anything you say, right? For example, if Wendy's holding a bag and says she has a tuna sandwich, and Randy says, she has a tuna sandwich in that bag, I've seen it with my own eyes. You know what? You would have to check that bag. Somebody would have to call security and open up that bag and see if it's not a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because the fact that Randy said and confirmed that she saw it with her own eyes would sound even more sketchy because she's a known liar who lies for her friends. You see what I'm saying? So you could never believe that. You're like, I need security to check the lunch bag, please. I'm gonna need security to check the lunch bag. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You know, I did this video because I really felt like, I want to be quite clear. I like both these girls, Jaynie and Bombshell. And I will remind anybody that may not realize that some time ago, I was given the what for by some people on here. And it was really nasty. In a really nasty, low rent, tasteless way. And people that I thought would show up for me and just lend support or just a couple kind words or whatever, people that I thought would show never showed. Nowhere to be seen. Just vanished into the air, right? Well, people that I didn't even anticipate or think that would showed up. People showed up, like Barnyard showed up for me. She showed up and showed out, right? Here's Barnyard. Jaynie Bo Baynie was another one. She dedicated an entire live stream to me. Barnyard did a video for me. And then we have my best friend, Bombshell. Then we have Bombshell. You see, I couldn't function without No Shell. I couldn't do it. Then we have Bombshell, who was really swinging the bat for me when I needed it, right? Never asked any of these ladies, because that's not my style. I never asked anyone to come show up for me. Now, there was a couple people that didn't show up, and I let them know that I noticed their absence. I let them know that their absence did not go unnoticed. But no, I never asked anybody to show up for me because typically the truth is I'm a rough bitch. I can typically handle my own battles, but every once in a while, it just feels good when people show up for you, especially when things are really getting a little rough in the seas. It just feels really good when people show up for you. And such is the case for me. You know, these ladies showed up for me. So this is why I wanted to do this video, as a way to show up for them. And even though I might have handled the panel a little bit different than Bomb did, it makes no difference why I'm here. Because the fact is, the fact that she wanted to make peace, the fact that she was willing to show her vulnerability, and let people in on that says a lot. Because she really did, as some people will say, lay down the sword. And she really just put her vulnerability out there. And I'm sure some people didn't show up that maybe she thought would show up. I'm sure it probably happened too. I think it happens to everybody. But I think these are like little learning lessons, because when the right people show up, right, you can't focus on who doesn't show up. But you definitely notice who does show up. And then you just see them in a whole different light. And then you're like, wow, it's not easily forgotten. So people like Jaynie Bo Baynie, Bombshell, Barnyard, and there were others, but this isn't about me. But you just remember who showed up for you. And you remember the gaggle of friends you had, the gaggle of YouTube associates you had that didn't even want to utter your name, right? Didn't even be wanting to be seen in a comment section. Nothing. Just, and it's all good. So, all right, let me read some of your comments. Let me read a few comments here before I close out. Again, anything you said in here will be held against you in the court of law. No, I will see everything that you've typed in here. It may take a few hours, because this went on for over an hour. It could take a full day before the chat is live for me to read, because I am on my phone here. All right, I love you, Mallory. Thank you, Ritas. How are you? Carla Ray. They really thought it was hilarious that Bomb was using a hose. Listen, let me touch on that for just a moment. Let's go. Brandon says, me either. Okay, content. That's their content lies. Looking beautiful, Mallory. Thank you, Nettie. Cats rule. Hello, hello, hello. So we'll touch on that. They're not mean girls by any means. And remember, we don't know what Wendy meant. Because we don't know Wendy. Only she knows Wendy and the Wendys that live in her head. So we can't assume that Wendy was being nasty or was intending to be rude and crude and just very small with Bombshell when she was making fun of her having no water and allowing other people to come through and make snide comments and remarks on her panel and around her side chat and all that. Because we don't know her. We don't know what her intent was in her head, as she would say, right? But I'm sure we'll judge her as. Okay, so it took a lot, because I'm going to be honest with you. This is the difference between Bomb and I, all right? Another difference. If I didn't have running water in my house, the last people that would know it would be you people. Not for nothing. But the last people that would know it would be all of you. That's just who I am. You're not going to know I don't have no water. Because my pride is is too much. My pride would not allow me to be that vulnerable, that open. I don't know, unless I was really, really drunk on the wine, the devil's. I don't know. But I'm telling you, for me, no. There is with all the experience that I have on YouTube, right? There is no way that I would arm my haters with such knowledge. Not in 1,000,001 years am I going to do that. Somebody, in order for somebody to find out that I'm living with no water in my home, they're going to have to come here, stalk me in person, break in my home, and try to take a shower. That's the only way they're going to find out that I don't have water in my house. Other than that, I'm going to wet wipe myself like nobody's business. I'm going to come on, and people's going to say, how's life, Mallory? I'm going to say, it's all right. It's all right. I'm hanging in there. But you know what? At least I have water. It could always be worse. I'm going to lie. I'm going to lie when it comes to my water. I could be lying right now. I mean, I just put myself out there as a liar. I could be lying to you right now. I might not have had water for a year, but I'm telling you, I live with water. My water is flowing like gems through a jewelry counter, just flowing, right? But I would have told her. See, me and Bomb are we're YouTube associates. We're not friends. We don't call one another. We're not there. But if we were, I would have said, and she was about to tell me that she was going to tell anybody on YouTube. I would have said, no, you're not, girl. I'm gonna say, let me get this straight. You're gonna arm, I don't know, Savage. You're gonna arm Savage with the knowledge that you don't know, you don't have any running water. And whoever else floats along in that make-believe boat in the YouTube waters, right? You're going to arm these people. You're going to arm them. I'm going to say, have you had a stroke, Savage? Have you had a stroke, girl? Did you bump your head on the car door getting in and out, going to Walmart or Target? Did you? What happened? I want you to be completely honest with me. Were you mugged? Did somebody wrap you over the head with a gun, a pistol? Were you pistol whipped, girl? I want to know, you can tell me straight up what happened to you, that you think that I'm going to give you the blessing to come on YouTube and put that kind of information in your hater's lap. Oh, no. But you know what? We don't have each other's numbers. She didn't call me. She didn't reach out to me and say, listen, Mallory, what would you do? Because I would have told her, girl, listen, disconnect. That's what I would do. If you're this close, if you're this close to putting some information like that in your hater's lap, you have got to unplug. Unplug the internet, girl. Right? Just unplug. Take 2 weeks off. Take 2 weeks off, unplug, and I'm serious. Can't do it. Because what's happened? I mean, am I lying? Would I have been lying to her? What has happened with this knowledge? Right? What have people done with this knowledge? Have people sat there, I mean, has the empathy from her, have the haters developed some sort of newfound empathy for her? Right? Are the haters digging in their pocket or whatever, trying to get her water on or get something fixed? I don't even know why her water's off, and it really doesn't even matter. I don't know if it got cut off. Heard something about a hose. I don't know if a hose is broken, a line is broken, if a landlord won't fix it. I don't even know. But the haters are definitely not going to help her get her water back on, whether it's hiring a plumber or paying a bill. So I think, let's not tell anyone, Savage. Let's not tell anyone that. No one needs to know. Sometimes in life, when people ask you how you are, you just say, I'm fine. Life is good. Life is good. You know, and every once in a while, you share a little bit of your life, right? Every once in a while, you know, then you share a little bit. Like, for instance, I don't talk a lot about my personal life and my personal struggles. Recently, I shared a little bit about my arm, right? Just a little bit. A diagnosis, just a little bit. But there's been information after that. But I'm not gonna continue to dwell on that. And these are all things that I got to deal with in life. Because I think I was raised a certain way, right? People get uncomfortable when you talk about your problems. And I really don't think that's changed much. People want to know how you're doing, but they really don't. When people ask you how you're doing, it's just a courtesy. It's a courtesy ask. And the right thing to do is just to say, I'm fine. Life is good. Because most people are not in the position or the mind space to suddenly have a full-on answer, right? Can you imagine? You just walk up to somebody and say, how you been, girl? How you doing? And all of a sudden, they're unloading all of their... You weren't prepared for that. And the truth is, you're just looking for the nearest exit. Especially if you're somebody who's... This is another rule in life. People who have nice things and can afford nice things and go to nice places and do wonderful things, right? There's a reason why they try to keep friends who can also do the same things. Because they get uncomfortable. You have to be very careful what you share with them and how much you share with them. Because they get uncomfortable. Like, they want to know about you. They want to know. But then the truth is, if you tell them, they didn't really want to know. Because it makes them uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable. I don't know how else to put it. Other than the haves only want to hear the lives of the other haves. They don't really want to hear the lives and struggles of the have-nots. So you have-nots out there have got to remember that. Don't go around a have and try to talk about your life. Because as much as you think they want to hear about your life, they really don't. They don't. Because it puts them in a very awkward position. You know, it puts them in an awkward position. And that's just the truth. So, but listen, I'm no life coach. I am no life coach. So I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a life coach. I don't have my life coach card, right? It doesn't say Mallory Williams life coach, right? It says Mallory Williams is a broke ass. It just, so, but just you wait. If I ever get me a really good husband with a really good job, I'm going to be life coaching it like nobody's business. I'm going to get a life coach like nobody's business. All right. So on that note, everyone, I want to thank everyone who came in. Nikki, thank you. Jacques Blue, hello and thank you. Sugar and the Raw, how are you doing? Good to see you. I don't see everybody else that was up earlier, so, but everybody, thank you. Floor, thank you for coming in, Floor. I'm going to read your comment in a little bit when this comes back around. Mallory, you're a breath of fresh air. I got that part. Thank you, Floor. Cat's rule, superficial and shallow will only get you so far. Hey, it'll get you a life coach card. If nothing else, it'll get you a life coach card. Like I said, if you have nice living room furniture, well, you can be a life coach. People will hand over their money left and right to you. She must be doing something right. She must be doing something right. I'll have her life coach me. She's successful. Okay, Mallory, you were looking pretty. Thank you, Cat's Rule. Thank you to everybody. All right, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope y'all got something out of it. I'm sure you did. I mean, if you missed anything, go back. Go back. I think it's worth a watch. What do y'all think? I think it's worth a watch. I truly do. And if anybody was listening to me in their car, I really hope. This is my car radio voice. Welcome to the Mallory Williams Show, and I do hope you've enjoyed every bit of this conversation and the show today. Till next time, do take care. Bye-bye.